everyone, and welcome to our workshop for making a lemon meringue tart. So I'm going to start off with our first step today, which is making the dough for the crust. We're going to use a food processor for this, and I've already prepared all of the ingredients that I need for today. 254 grams of flour. I have here 40 grams of almond flour, 1 large egg, 75 grams of powdered sugar, and this is not written in the recipe, but I have it anyway. I have about one or two teaspoons or tablespoons actually of water here, cold water. I also have 170 grams of cold butter waiting in the fridge. It's very important that this is very cold. So I took this out of the fridge, I cut it into cubes, measured it, and then I put it right in the fridge until I'm going to use it. I've cut it into chunks about this size. I'm going to put it in the fridge right now until I'm ready to use it. The reason why our butter needs to remain very cold is in order for us to actually get all kind of little chunks of butter inside our dough. And those little chunks of butter are going to stay there until we are ready to bake. And when it bakes under extreme heat, that butter is going to dissolve and melt and leave our crust very flaky, like with little kind of holes of melted butter inside, and that will make it crunchy and delicious. I've put my flour, my ground almond flour, and my powdered sugar in here. In a lot of recipes, they will tell you to add the butter now, get it into a sand-like consistency, and only then add your egg or your water, depending on the recipe. What I like to do is already add the butter right now, and then give it 1 or 2 pulses with my food processor, and then immediately add the egg and kind of drip in water as much as I need, because I don't want my butter to become too soft or too small. So I'm gonna grab my butter, add it here into my dough. I'm gonna close the lid on this and pulse. Okay, for me that's enough pulsing. Now, I'm going to add my egg in. And I want it to just about become crumbly and come together, but really not too much. And really, the more you will pulse here, or the longer your food processor will run, the more fine your dough will be and less flaky. It's not going to be horrible, but we're right now with this recipe and with patisserie in general, we're aiming for perfection. So I'm gonna pulse it. Good. And now I'm just going to add my water in here. I've brought this measuring spoon so I can measure exactly how much water I'm gonna put in here. I'm gonna start with 1 tablespoon, that should be enough. Okay, it's very crumbly now. If I grab a little bit of it and push it together, it kind of stays together. You see that? I'm gonna give it 1 small ground, and I'm actually going to add something that's not in the recipe, but I would like to add it for you anyway. And this is like a pinch of salt. And a pinch is about like 1/4 teaspoon, really a little bit. Okay, Okay, that's it. This is already done. Do you see the consistency it's like right now? It's like really like sand. And what I'm gonna do right now is transfer everything into a plastic wrap and put it in my refrigerator. So let me put all this aside. Here's my plastic wrap. Just gonna open it. I've just cleaned my counter, so it's a bit sticky, so my wrap very easily gets on it. And now I'm gonna transfer all of this gently into my wrap. Start off with this. I'm going to try not to touch the dough with my hand too much because my hands are warm and I don't want the butter to melt. So I'm just gonna transfer all of this crumbly dough in here. Keep it kind of together. Okay. Now that I have everything on here in this nice little pile, I'm going to try to wrap it and make like a bit of a roll out of it. So what I'm gonna do is just push it a little bit from this side, close. Push it a little bit from this side and close. Kind of wrapping it, kind of tightening it up a little bit. Already looks a bit more like a log. Then I'm gonna close it from this end. And then I'm gonna do the same. Push it here, tighten it, and close it from this end. And I'm gonna give it another turn in my plastic wrap. Good. Now everything is wrapped. Now I'm just gonna really tighten it together, make a log out of it. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. I'm gonna put this in the fridge right now. And when it comes out of the fridge, I'm gonna show you, I'm not sure that you can see it right now, all the little chunks of butter in here. Do you see those? That's what we're looking for. So I don't wanna heat this up too much. I'm gonna put it in my fridge for at least 1 hour. Normally I would do this overnight, but now we're gonna do it for at least an hour or two, depending on our schedule. And then we're going to roll it out and refrigerate it again, because after we roll it out, we don't want our butter to be melting. We actually want it still to be very hard. So we're gonna roll it out, put it on our tart ring or tart pan, then put it in the fridge or in the freezer, and only then we're gonna bake. Let me know if you have any questions.